Hello everybody and welcome to another episode of Alex's Afternoon Art Show. Today we are concluding the Marvel vs. Capcom 2 Mural. So, after this one I would say I'm probably going to take a little hiatus for a little while because, yeah, this has been quite exhausting. It's not, I've enjoyed it well enough, but yeah, doing this for 57 weeks is, that's a lot. It has been basically, ooh, nearly slipped. It's been basically a year of me doing these, apart from the weeks that I've missed. But yeah, near enough every week I've been recording them. There's been 1 or 2 weeks where I didn't have one, but yeah, nearly every week for a year I have recorded one of these, and one has gone up. So I'm probably going to take a little break for a while after this, and come up with some ideas for stuff to do afterwards. Because as we've discussed, there'll be I might return every now and then, but the mural is basically done. I might do some additives to the mural afterwards, but more or less this is it. So yeah, I suppose I'll roll the intro and then we'll get into it. So, I mentioned before that I had some ideas for what to do on this, and basically the idea I'm going for is, obviously I've not done any like baselines or anything, because it's not that necessary for background. I'm going to start getting some reference ready in the background, because I forgot to do it, but yeah. So the kind of general concept I'm going for here is something along the lines of, there's that very famous image from Marvel vs. Capcom 1 of all the heroes stood on a cliff, and that's the kind of idea I'm going for. That's some of the like intro art for Marvel vs. Capcom 2 has that same idea, but it's sunsetty, and that's what we were going to have here. Is that so? Behind the kind of main cast here, there's going to be a sun. Going to be a sun setting. I was thinking maybe the sun would be setting over here and then it would be dark over here, or vice versa. But I think I'm going to have the sun in the middle here, because if I do add characters later, it's going to be a pain in the ass. So if I have to worry about where the light is. But if the light's here, then I don't have to worry about that, and I can just have it start to get dark at the edges, more or less. But yeah, that's the general idea I'm going for, more or less. And then I'll probably do something sky-wise, I don't know, I'll have to think about it. Yeah, how do I look this up? MVC. Monitor is very moved here. No, that's not quite what I'm looking for. I might cut out some of this. Alright, well, I've got the idea anyways. I've got the reference that I need, more or less. Not the most helpful thing in the world. Also, yeah, notably in this reference you can't see their feet, but here you can, so the perspective needs to be a little different. Meaning you obviously need to have a horizon line here. Now, I've talked about that before, even though I haven't done many backgrounds in the art show. Depending on how things work, you can have multiple horizon lines, one horizon line, whatever. But realistically speaking, here... big question is, where am I going to put it? That is the question, is where am I going to put it? Because it needs to be at least this far back, more or less. Yeah. Anyways, I suppose I'll begin and we'll see how I'm going to make this work. We'll see, I suppose. I'm not sure exactly where I'm going to put this horizon line, but I suppose you'll see what I mean whenever I start. It'll be easier to figure out where to put the edge of the cliff, because I can just kind of jag that along here, more or less. I can kind of jagged line that around, and then just put some lines coming down from it. That'll go down, obviously. And then have it kind of disappear into the front here, more or less. But yeah, the horizon line is the difficult part. It's figuring out where that should be is the part which I might struggle with. I might have to put like a little mountain or something in the background, just add something. A few little mountains somewhere. To kind of add a reasonable place where it disappears, so it's not just like flat cut off to the entire world. and then it just seemingly disappears. There needs to be something back there, but then I'll have the big sun here. So we'll see. We'll see what I do. Yeah. Yeah, I'll have to... I am buying time here because it's taking forever to save. That's because I have every character on, but... Yeah, I'll probably just start out by, putting in like the jagged little lines that move around along here, and then maybe think about adding cliffs or mountains and stuff, because stuff's going to be very rocky looking, so I need to do something like that, then have the sun disappear behind it. Anyways, I'll begin. Okay, so we've done our kind of basic lines here, and now, see, I'm thinking, because obviously we're going to have the sun here, so obviously we'd have our long shadows, and that's what I've been doing for the last hour, basically, is putting in the long shadows after I put in the shaded background stuff, because naturally if the sun is low, that stuff is all going to look really dark, so got some mountains in the background, and they're dark. But we're dealing with a rather flat desert here, is my idea. Because that's what it looks like in the opening of Marvel vs. Capcom 2, is it's a very flat desert, but I'm merging it with the that particular screen from Marvel vs. Capcom 1 with all the characters stood on the cliff. So I'm merging it with that. I think, to be prudent, I'm going to do the sun next, and then I'll figure out, I think I'll probably just run straight into the colors after that, so I might as well just continue, and then I'll be back after I've done that. There's not much shading really to be done, so I'll see what happens. Well, okay, I don't think there's really much more to be done with the background. As you can see, I've gone for this kind of heavy sunset look. I gave the sand, you probably noticed, a slight dusting of yellow along the top of it, so it looks like the light's hitting it at least. It's the same thing I did with the sky. I gave the sky like a very slight deep purple for the clouds. I can even just ping them on and off just so you can see the difference. It's subtle, but it does do something. It's very subtle, but it does do something, I think. It helps a little bit with just kind of dispersing that sky color, because the sky color is very intense. But we're going to be fixing that just now, because I think I'm pretty done with the background. But now it is time for the true final touch with the gradient map. And yeah, as I said, this is really the true final touch. It may also be the thing that completely crashes this. So we shall see what happens here. Because this could go in a number of ways. Everything is moving really slowly now, much slower than I'm used to. So again, we will have to see. So we're going to make this a kind of a purpley or reddy kind of color, I think, like a deep red, just so that it gets to be that kind of sunset look. Good, yeah, and then we're going to want our lightest color to be what? A kind of an orangey yellow. Just so that it's very sunsetty. This is what we're aiming for. And now this to be a kind of a mid-red, maybe even a kind of a slightly browner color. Maybe make this slightly purplier. No, it should be dark. Should be dark, but it is on the purple spectrum. Maybe make this slightly darker, because this is our mid-roll color. Make it red. Make this more orangey. And then make it a little deeper. Now we're going to be doing a few different things with this. I'm going to need to zoom in so that I can see what I'm doing a little bit more. Right, so obviously this is normal. You've seen me do gradient maps before if you've seen another episode of this, because I do them all the time, but let's have a look at what overlay looks like. It's a bit deep fried, so we generally turn them down. But we'll go with soft light, and then we'll turn it down to about 60%. And now we can zoom out and have a look again. How are we looking here? Okay, it definitely unifies the colors a lot more, but it is quite a dark gradient map. What we might do to fix that is we'll make a second gradient map. We'll just duplicate this one because I'm going to want the same colors more or less. I'll put it underneath this. And make it luminosity. Luminosity will make it darker, but it will make it look a little bit chalkier, for lack of a better word. See, it does make it darker, but to counteract that, we'll turn this down to 45%. We're going to want something which will make it brighter. So let's have a look at what we can do here, because we're going to want something that will make it dark, or that will make it lighter. Maybe a lighten. That does not appear to do anything. It does not appear to do anything at all. Yeah, it doesn't seem to help much. Multiply? No, that's going to make it considerably darker. What about color burn? No, color burn's also too dark. Yeah, lighting doesn't appear to do much, I'll say that much. Overlay? No, darker again. Soft light? No. Hard light? No. Pin light. Pin light's slightly lighter. Hard mix? No, that's deep frying it again. I apologize if any of this stuff is you're slightly sensitive to any of this type of stuff visually. Well, that's a weird one. I'm not exactly thinking I'm going with that. Screw it. Throw a lighten on there. Maybe make it a little higher. 60% on a lighten. I'll zoom in and see if I can see it doing anything. God, it really doesn't do anything at all. So I normally do a color burn on like 10%, and that's usually what I do. So you know what, let's turn this down to like 10%. Let's see, color burn, see what that looks like. God, it really doesn't appear to do much here, does it? That is odd. I've turned it up and it doesn't appear to be doing anything. Like, yeah, I was about to say, it seems to just be slowing down. But again, I apologize if you're sensitive to any of these things. Just have to give it a second and hope it works. Yeah, because we're dealing with large numbers here. Color burn makes it darker again. Maybe we don't need the color burn. Maybe we just need the soft light to be higher. We don't need the color burn. Just delete. Yeah, delete that. Delete the whole thing. Yeah, I think we maybe just need this. Maybe we just need that. Maybe that's all we need. We don't need it to be super crazy. Because, I mean, realistically, a gradient map is always going to darken. You're just going to see this slowly zooming out. Realistically speaking, gradient map is always going to make it a little darker. Oh yeah, I should put in a signature, shouldn't I? Should do that. Where the hell is it on this? Right. You know what's going on. I'm just going to do this. Right, let's zoom in. I'll find a place for it. I don't know where to put a signature here. I might just put it down here. Gotta go back to my normal brushes as well. Oh, just very quickly put a tiny little signature in here somewhere. Hide it in somewhere. Suppose I can have a look here while I'm looking for a spot for this. And what our colors are at. As you can see, they are a lot more unified now. They still pop, they're still very bright, but they do they're a little bit more unified. They look like they're all part of the same beast now. Even Hulk is green, and all the greens over here, because the Marvel characters are all very green in that middle chunk. But yeah, it's all nice and dispersed now, so it's not quite so odd. Oh, say odd. But it's not quite so It's not quite so all over the place as it might have been before. But yeah, we're getting to that point now where it's the evening, so yeah. As I say, yeah, we are at the end here, so this is the thing. It's just going to be a that is quite intrusive, isn't it? I'm just gonna move it over here. I'm gonna put it all the way on the right so that it's not in the way. Put it down here. Just leave it down there. Won't distract from anything. Maybe even put it up here. Put it there. Not in the way. But yeah, that is us done, more or less. Well, no, not more or less. That's us done. Where is it? I think there's something I'm forgetting. I'm forgetting the texture. Now, we haven't done the texture on this so far, but I don't know if it's necessary. Nah, I'm not going to put the texture on. The texture isn't necessary. I was thinking about it. Nah. Well, it's not worth sitting through this bloody saving. Anyways. But yeah, may as well just talk a little bit. But yeah. The backgrounds are usually the quickest part of a drawing. I find when I do backgrounds. Anyways, I don't always do them. As you've seen throughout this entire series, this is the first background I've done. Well, I only needed to do one, so may as well only do one. But yeah. And yeah, realistically, it's not a crazy background. It's very simple. Just desert. Just flat desert. That's all it is. Oh, my elbow moved. But yeah, it's just flat desert. Fairly basic. Give it a bit of a cliff, so it looks like the particular Marvel vs. Capcom 1 art that everyone knows. Well, not the one that everyone knows, but similar to that. But yeah. So I mean, this is the thing. It's a little bit more unified now. And yeah, I think it's got a nice color palette, all this stuff. So yeah, realistically speaking, backgrounds don't take very long, albeit this has taken 3 hours. But that said, this is a dramatically larger background than I would normally be dealing with. So yeah, this is the thing. 3 hours is pretty quick for the size of background that we have. But yeah, all said, I feel like there's not much to say. I mean, that's the end of the mural. That's it. Hopefully you've watched all of them. That's 57 episodes, so if you watched all of them, good on you. That was a lot. I don't know if I expected anyone to watch all of them. I don't think anyone has. Probably, I doubt anyone's watched all of them. If you have watched all of them, leave a comment and say that you have. That's a good idea. Maybe that'll boost some engagement. But yeah, that's me rambling. Anyways, I think I'll wrap up. But as I said, I mean, the mural isn't done per se. I might do the expansion pack, so to speak, and do characters from later games, stuff like that. Throw in the bosses, maybe. We'll see. We'll see what happens if we do, or if I do. It'll be a while from now. It won't be soon, and it probably won't be the next art show video I do. So yeah, I think after all of this, I've earned myself a nice little hiatus. So yeah, I might be back in a few weeks with another one, but it will be a couple of weeks. I'm not gonna be back next week with another one. It'll be a little while. But yeah, I feel like I've earned myself a nice little break from doing so many videos. It's been a lot of videos since I started this mural. It's been, yeah, pretty consistent for about a year, and that's more than I normally do. So yeah, I don't think the channel's not exactly going to be going vacant or anything whenever this is gone. The channel's still going to be there. There'll still be videos, just not these. And yeah, I'll be back eventually with another art show video. I make it sound like it's going to be a long time. It probably won't. It'll probably be like 2 or 3 weeks. But yeah, yeah. That's the MVC2 mural. That's it. That's done. So I will say our outro, and then I'll be gone for a while. So, yeah. If you like the video, do whatever it is that you'd normally do, whether that be liking or not. I don't particularly mind, but of course I would prefer if you did something positive. That would be my preferred choice anyways. As long as it's not negative anyways. And yeah, if you would like to subscribe, it's the same deal. I don't mind. If you've presumably watched a YouTube video before, so you know where the button is, and if you're going to press it, you're going to press it. If you're not, you're not. So yeah, I would be happy if you did, but again, it's not going to bug me if you don't. And yeah, if you decide to watch the next video, I will see you next time, which may be a couple of weeks. So, anyways, with that said, I think that is us. It's appropriate that the sun is now setting as we finish this, I suppose, because the sun is setting on the Marvel vs. Capcom 2 Mural, both literally and figuratively, because there's a sunset in the background, and also it's done. So yeah, anyways, I'll say goodbye, and that'll be us. So, bye-bye.